We got lots of people waiting out there. We got people waiting, and the show normally starts at 7 p.m. Central Time, but I started, let's see, 6 minutes early. I don't want to have you guys just hanging out there waiting. And I'm Diego. I'm in my K1 visa process, waiting for the welcome letter from the National Visa Center. Our NOA 1 letter is April 18th, 2022, and our NOA 2 letter is dated May 30th, 2023. Now, Karina is my beautiful fiance, my prometida, and she is from Caracas, Venezuela, living in as a legal resident, Bogota, Colombia. Living in Colombia, she's been there since 2018. She gave her house to her mom, and she said, adios, ciao, goodbye, Venezuela, and she's living free in Colombia. And Kaiser H, hello, Diego, how are you doing this evening? Kaiser H, doing great. Jacob Myers, good evening, Diego. Got some great news. Come on, Jacob. What's the great news? I want to hear it because you've been struggling. You've been struggling through this K1 visa process, and we all want to hear the great news. And today we're going to talk about adjustment of status for your green card, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary. We want to see you get your green card without getting an RFE, which is a request for further evidence. So there's a secret to it, and it's a lot of work. You got to put the hard work in. This K1 visa process requires sweat equity. Nong Vang Envy Homes. Nong Vang, I think, if I remember, you are a real estate agent or property manager. Hello, the man, Diego, have awesome news for you too. Nong Vang, come on, let's hear it. Tuan Benson, hello from Miami. Hi, Tuan. Hello, everybody in Tuan's family in Miami. Jacob Myers, after sicking the Senate office on the NVC, my case is in transit yesterday. Well, imagine that, right? Jacob, you paid attention to me, you listened to me, and I tell you, immigration, they don't like senators getting into their business. So now your case is in transit to the Philippines, right? The Philippines, Manila. Takes a couple of days, get on an airplane, and very soon you're going to have your ready status, and then you're going to have your interview scheduled, and you're going to be reunited, and everything's good, right? Now, are you going to stress this process anymore? Are you going to relax, Jacob? Please relax. You got this. I promised you'd get your visa, right? Kaiser H, Diego, any update on the form I-134? Keep using the same one. Nothing's changed. Jun Ganesh. One second. Nong Vang. Yes, a realtor in Minnesota. Very good. Jun Ganesh. Hi, Diego. Good night from Guyana. Hope all is well. Everything is good here in the Panhandle of Florida, near Pensacola. And Karina and I were going to get married on Navarre Beach, which is about a 30-minute drive from here. I used to live in Navarre, in Florida, in Santa Rosa County. I used to live in Navarre, but the hurricanes were getting a little tight. So I moved up to the central part of the county. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody. Jude Daly. Hello, Diego. Yesterday I got my welcome letter after 71 days. 71 days. Well, look at you. That's good. CBY05. Hi, Diego. Y05, good to see you. How's your fiance doing in Venezuela? And how are you doing? Jacob. Yep, Manila. Yeah, Jacob. Are you going to sleep good now? Are you going to relax now? You going to relax? Jacob Myers just took hell getting through the NVC mess. The NVC are new. I think they got a whole bunch of new people, and they don't know what they're doing, and they're trying to learn, okay? They're trying to learn, and they're getting there. And, you're now getting, your K1 visa is now on a plane going to the Philippines. Nong Vang. My K1 fiance visa was approved last night, August 15th, 2023, and my NOA 2 is mailed, so it took our file about 12.3 months. Yeah, that's good. 12 to 13 months is the average right now. But thanks for your YouTube channel, we are still in this. Well, I'm glad you didn't throw in the towel and quit. I'm glad you're still in the game. Okay, don't let immigration beat you. Stay in the fight so you guys can get reunited, get married, and start your lives together. Karina and I, we're going to get married in Florida right here, not much longer, and you guys are going to come along for the process. Christopher Brown. Hi, Diego. I would like to change the country for my Russian fiance. Well, she's Russian. We love our friends in Russia, but you want to change the country for the visa interview, right? Well, you can't go to Russia, Moscow. We closed our embassy in Russia for visa processing, because the Russian government decided to invade Ukraine. That wasn't very nice, was it? So we shut our embassy down for visa processing. But your fiance is not going to have her visa interview in Russia, in Moscow. She's going to have it probably in Warsaw, Poland. Should I make the request to USCIS, or when the file gets to the MVC? I was told to submit the DS-160 to the MVC. Okay, you don't submit a DS-160 to the MVC. You submit the DS-160 to the embassy, because that's what a DS-160 is, an application for the visa. That's all it is. A DS-160 is, mother, may I have a visa to come to America so I can get married? It's a non-immigrant visa, but it gets treated as an immigrant visa when you do the processing. So your fiance in Russia is going to have to go to a different country. Okay, Warsaw, Poland is the designated country right now. Now you could probably change that if you want to. Jaman, hi Diego, how are you? Jaman, doing good. Y05, my fiance doesn't work because I don't want her to. I don't blame you. But just a question in general, does it help if my fiance would work per se for the K1 visa? No reason for her to work. If you're taking care of her, immigration don't care if your beneficiary works or not. They don't care. They care that you, Y05, have got the resources to take care of her in the United States of America. That's all they care about. If you can do that, she doesn't have to work. Jaman, what app do you use for your video editing? Your videos are amazing. Jaman, thank you very much. Well, I'm glad you like the video editing. And there's several. I don't want to promote anybody. I don't want to promote a particular video editing software on the channel, okay? Because that won't be fair to the video editing software that I don't use. So here's my recommendation. Google video editing, and you pick the one that you think is best for you. Because if I don't want to promote a particular video editing software on this channel. It wouldn't be fair to other companies, okay? So I don't use. You're asking me what application do I use? I don't use an app. I use an application. Ashley Santana, Diego, I called the embassy in Dominican Republic. Look at you, just to pass my luck to press your luck to see if they had any information. They said they have a profile for my fiance. Well, that means they got his visa. Does that mean anything? Yeah. Now you're just going to wait for the. Now you're just going to wait for the ready status. Okay. Just wait. Got to be patient. Remember, the U.S. Embassy in the Dominican Republic are processing lots and lots of K1 visas, not just yours, other people's. You just got to wait your turn in line. Okay. You're in line. Sounds to me. You're in line for yours. Just got to wait. Gomez Nadley. Hello, Diego. Hola, Gomez. After you and Mona Salem says, hi, Diego. Gomez, after USCIS receives the papers you requested in the RFE, how long does it take to approve the case? Takes just a couple of weeks. Doesn't take long. It's quick. But they got to receive it first. It's not a long, drawn-out process. Jaman, how is Karina? Karina is doing fantastically well and doing good because August is almost gone, right? August is about gone. We're almost into September. And in September, that's when I'm expecting the welcome letter from the National Visa Center, and then the in-transit, and then the ready status, and then I can start scheduling the visa interview for Karina at the embassy in Bogota, Colombia, way up in the mountains, in the Andes. Jeff Mantok. Hi, hello, Diego. What's up, Jeff? Zoila Molina, hello Diego, I have good news. Already received our welcome letter. High five to Zoila. Burn B, Diego, this is my fourth K1 application. Your fourth one. You think they will care? Well, you're only allowed 2. How did you get on to 4? You're on your fourth K1 visa request? Oh, seriously, you're only allowed 2. You are considered a multiple filer, and you would have had to get a waiver from the Homeland Security folks at USCIS to file for your fourth K1 visa. You got to get permission. You got to get a waiver. Do they care? They probably they do. They want to see why you are bringing so many people to America. You got to explain that in a letter. You just can't file for 4 K1 visas. You can apply for 2. I'm on my second one. My first one didn't work out. It's okay. She went back home. So I'm on my second one. And I'm not going to file anymore. But if you are on your fourth one, you're a multiple filer. You would have had to get permission from USCIS in order to file the K1 visa petition. What does USCIS care about a fourth one? No, as long as you can explain what happened to the other 3. Y05, I asked this last time, does her education level matter for K1? Yes, her education level does matter. They look at that. They look at everything. They look at a picture of your beneficiary coming to America. If she's got, like Karina's got college educated in Venezuela, she has a degree up in tax accounting. Immigration is going to look at that. And that's a positive thing, That means I can retire one day, and then Karina can go to, she'll be working as a tax accountant somewhere, or she's going to open up her own business, actually. She's a capitalist. She's a capitalist entrepreneur. She's going to start her own business. Juan Carlos Parra. Hi, Diego and Karina from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Still waiting on the welcome letter from the MVC. Juan Carlos Parra. Karina and I will drive through Fort Lauderdale as soon as we get to Miami Airport. We're going to drive to the Panhandle of Florida. We're not going to fly from Miami to Pensacola. I'm going to drive Karina through Fort Lauderdale. Cambodia is going fast. Future wife have interview October 19th. High five, Chopper Harley. That's good news. That's good news. Now, I did mention to you that Cambodia are processing visas pretty quick. Jaman, totally fine, Diego. How far is your and Karina's visa process? Jaman, we're waiting for the welcome letter from the National Visa Center. Probably September, first week of September. A couple more weeks to go. Jeff Mantalk. Ashley, when did you file your application? April Flower. Hi, Diego. NOA March 13th, 2023. When do you think we'll get the NOA 2? Probably by February of 2024. April Flower, February of 2024. Ashley Santana, Diego, I haven't received any info from MVC, though I don't have a case number. Do you think the application is in the Dominican Republic? No, it's still at the MVC. It's still there. When you get in transit, that's when it goes to the embassy. Christopher Brown, so do you recommend that I change the country at the USCIS or MVC? At the MVC. Not USCIS. You've already filled out your I-129F, right, Christopher? You filled out your I-129F. Which country did you put down for your visa interview for your beneficiary? Which country? Once USCIS get it, they'll send it to the MVC. The MVC will then contact that embassy. So you got to notify the National Visa Center if you want to change it. Burn B, the other girls turned out to be catfish. Well, there you go. Throw them back in the sea. They'd be swimming. They're swimming. The catfish are swimming back in the ocean. Taja Sweeney Mamadi. I had someone with a NOA 1 and NOA 2 3 days before me, and they received their welcome letter yesterday, and they are from the same consulate, India, but I have not received my welcome letter yet. Taja Sweeney, your K1 visa is totally different from those people. Totally different. Okay? You cannot compare your K1 visa to somebody else. You can't do it. You just have to wait your turn. You're going to get it. You'll be fine. Tuan Benson, how many days? Zoila, Liz. Hi, Diego. Hi, Liz. What's going on, Liz? Ashley, Jeff, NOA 1, 6623. NOA 2, 6/12, 2023. June. So you got your NOA 2, 6/12, June. So by the middle of September, Ashley, you'll get your NOA, you'll get your welcome letter. Liz, through an inquiry to the MVC, they provided the case number, although the welcome letter hasn't arrived yet. That's okay. When checking the status with the case number, it says in transit. What should I do now? Now Liz, you got to wait for the ready status. Wait for the ready status from the embassy. That's what you got to do right now. Jacob Myers, and then once you get the ready status, then you should be getting in there processing your SEAC account through U.S. Travel Docs, scheduling your visa interview, paying the visa fee. Jacob Myers, my beneficiary, said the Philippines has interview openings end of September and October, so not too long away. You'll get your visa interview in September, next month, right? So all this stress, all this worry, and all this panic attack was for no reason, right? You're good. You're good, Jacob. Liz, another question, Diego. If the MVC only provided me with the case number, who should provide me with the invoice ID? Well, the invoice ID comes from the embassy, but some embassies allow you to process and schedule the interview without the invoice ID number. Some embassies require it, some embassies don't. That's what I'm seeing. See if you can schedule the interview without it. Use your receipt number as the invoice ID number. Try and do that. Jeff Mantok, thank you, Ashley. Edward Tubman Jr., hi, Diego. What's going on, Edward? What happens after receiving the welcome letter from the MVC? Now you're waiting for the in-transit and the ready status from the embassy. So you can start processing your K1 visa. Pay for the visa fee. Schedule the interview. Make sure you got all your vaccinations up to date for your beneficiary. Get all your documents together, birth certificates, police certificates, letters of intent to get married. Lola Ali, hi Diego. We got our welcome letter after 91 days. 10 days later, we have our interview date. Look at you. And medical exam scheduled. Can you tell us what documents the sponsor must supply for the interview? Well, when you go to, you're going to have a police certificate, the original birth certificates translated into English, a copy of the original birth certificates, the passports. If there's any kids involved, they got to bring their passports. You got to have the letters of intent to get married. You got to have the W-2s, 1099s, tax transcripts, the I-134, signed the original I-134. You need to have photos of your relationship continuing, chat logs from WhatsApp or from Messenger. Start printing chat logs. Okay, there's not a whole bunch of stuff you need for the visa interview, but you got to make sure you bring the right stuff. Birth certificates, police certificates, the confirmation page. You're going to need to bring the DS-160 confirmation page. Okay, if you have the welcome letter, a copy of the welcome letter, the MERV receipt when you paid for the medical exam, you got to bring the sealed envelope with the medical exam. That's the stuff you need for the embassy interview. But you're going to get a letter explaining all that. Ashley Santana, Dominican Republic Embassy said my beneficiary has profile. It means that they know that that they're waiting for the visa to be mailed to them. Okay? Don't overthink this, guys. Juan Carlos Patter, hi Diego. I'm wondering how our friends in Bogota are doing after taking off in July. We got approved on May 9th. They're doing fine. They're good. They're probably married or getting their married plans together. They got to do it within 90 days. You got to get married within 90 days, guys. Teja Sweeney, when I checked the case status, it says it's at the MVC. Okay. Jeff Mantalk, Ashley, they are probably doing a background check. Could be. Jacob, well, my panic attack required me contacting the Senate office, Diego. Okay, you got it done, right? Susie Goldemes, hello, Diego. Hey, Susie. Teja Sweeney. Oh, 1 second. Teja Sweeney, what are you saying? The feed is passed me by. No, I've got to catch you on another stream. Lamin, hello, Diego. How are you? When I pass my interview process, how long before I get my visa? Takes about 4 to 5 days, 6 days. Doesn't take long. Susie Geldermes, I have great news. I received an email from the MVC. I received the welcome letter yesterday morning. High five, Susie. Good news for Susie. Christopher Brown, do you know if USCIS started adjudicating September? Not yet. I'll make a video when they do. Lola, thanks, Diego. No problem, Lola. Monica, Enoch, hi everybody. So hello, everybody. And Diego, would you happen to know or maybe have an idea how long the consulate in Casablanca is taking to schedule? It's hard to say. Liz, fantastic super chat. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate you. Gracias, Diego. De nada, Liz. Muchas gracias para dinero. Gracias. Bruce Hatton, hello, Diego. Tasia Sweeney to Susie. Okay. Tasia Sweeney and Susie, you guys are chatting. Actual M, hello, Mr. Diego. How are you? My question is W-2 and 1099 in transcript or the tax transcript different than W-2 and 1099? Okay. This is what you need for the financial documents for the visa interview. The 1040, that's your hard copy tax transcript that you mail to immigration, to the IRS. Jeff Mantalk, woo, high five. Thank you, Jeff, for that super chat. Thank you, guys. You are appreciated. You get the difference between, the 1040 and the tax transcript. The 1040 is the hard copy. The tax transcript is what the IRS has on file. The W-2 is what your employer gives to you to say this is how much money he or she paid you. And the 1099 is like if you don't work if you're a contractor or if you're self-employed or if you're retired, if you're a military retiree, you get a 1099. The 1099, the W-2s, all that has to match the 1040 and the tax transcripts. I can't get it unless I'm in Saudi Arabia. The police certificate? You talking about the police certificate? Okay, the State Department has given a waiver for the Saudi Arabia. If you're not in Saudi Arabia, you can't get your police certificate. Don't worry about it. Monica Enoch, hi, Lola was in 10 days after the welcome letter. Monica and Lola are chatting. Susie Galdames, Tedra Sweeney, it was 89 days. Today makes 3 months. Woo. Jeff Mantalk, thank you for that super chat. Really do. I appreciate that. AJ, hi, Diego. I just started learning about the K1 visa. Well, welcome aboard. Is it okay for my beneficiary's intent to marry letter scanned and emailed instead of the original? No. It's got to be the original. Letter of intent to get married. The original. The original signed. Immigration don't like scanned copies. You might get an immigration officer that says, oh, yeah, okay, I'll let it slide. But you could get an immigration officer that's just a total by the book and says, no, I want the original black ink signed letter of intent to get married. And you got to have 2 letters of intent to get married. One from you, the sponsor, and one from the beneficiary. AJ, you got it. Got to have the original. Lola Ali, sorry, Monica. Tasia Sweeney, Susie Galdames. We got group chat going on. This is good. You're helping each other. This is good. Monica Enoch, I know the welcome letter with the case number. I have the welcome letter with the case number, but my lawyer said we are waiting for the MVC to send me the invoice so we can pay the fees and schedule the interview. No, Monica. What your lawyer should have told you was that he is waiting for the embassy to send him the ready status. So when you get the ready status, the embassy's waiting for you to start the process. Okay? Jeff Mantalk, thank you, Diego. I have learned a lot from you and the other people in your live stream. Jeff, that's great. This is the whole purpose of this live stream, is so you learn how to do this with minimal cost and minimal stress. Tasia Sweeney, I thought that for K1 visa, we do not need the invoice number. Some embassies ask for it, some embassies don't. I'm learning new stuff myself, okay? Immigration's a fluid government entity, okay? If you can process through with just the case number, without the invoice number, your K1 visa through the embassy, get it done. See if you can do it. Use your receipt number from your NOA2 letter. You know, it's a fluid process, guys. Let me see here. Teja Sweeney. Norfowl, hello Diego, thanks for your help, buddy. Norfowl, no problem, high five. Lola, we got the case number only, then filled out the DS-160. After we submitted the DS-160, we asked for an appointment. Well, you can do it that way, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule the appointment for Karina, pay the visa fee, probably pay the visa fee first, got to pay the visa fee first, schedule the appointment. When I know the appointment date, then I can get her to schedule the medical exam, and then I fill out the DS-160. Well, she will. I'll just help her with it because it's in English. Monica, our lawyer said we have to wait for something. Jonathan Bolton, been waiting to hear back on my spousal petition. It's not easy, but we enjoyed your content, and I'm excited for you. Hang in there, Jonathan. Hang in there. Ashley, does the embassy instruct on how to pay for the interview? Yeah, it's very easy. This whole process is very easy. It's not hard, guys. When you get your welcome letter, okay, you go and create an account in the CX system, the Consular Electronic Application Center. You go into Travel Docs for that country. In my case, Bogota, Colombia, BGT, Colombia. I look for Colombia, and then I pay the visa fee. And then Uncle Sam goes in and takes money out of my bank account. Boom, it's gone. Takes about 2 days. Then I go on to the next step, which is schedule the interview. Then I call Karina up. Well, I'll call her up and say, I scheduled your visa interview for this day. Now schedule your medical exam. She'll get on the phone to the doctor, the civil surgeon, and schedule her medical exam about 2 weeks before the visa interview. Then I'll fly to Colombia. I'll get on a plane. I'll fly to Colombia. So Karina will meet me at the airport in El Dorado, in Bogota. I'm going to go back to our apartment. And then the next morning, I'll help her with the DS-160. Then we'll print the confirmation page for the DS-160. Then we got everything ready. Nong Vang, as I await my MVC welcome letter, would you know by chance the estimated time from the MVC sending my K1 visa to Laos? Let's see. Once you get your welcome letter, it's going to probably take 2 to 6 weeks to get it to Laos. I'm thinking you're in Vietnam then. Your beneficiary is in Vietnam, right? Teja Sweeney, I am stressed, Diego. Everyone is receiving the welcome letter, and I still haven't got mine. You got to wait your turn. Just relax, Teja Sweeney. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. Trust me. Monica Enoch. Lola, our case says ready when I check. So do I just pay? Okay, if you're in the ready status, Monica, go ahead and pay your visa fee and get started with the process. Get started. Get in there. Go into the SEAC, look for Travel Docs, go into your country, and get started. Antonio, when I sent my tax transcripts, I didn't make enough in one of those years. Will that deny us? No. They only care about what you made in 2022. If your K1 visa interview is in 2022, okay, or in the first 3 months of 2023, they only care about what you made in 2022, okay? Susie Goldemas, don't stress it. That's correct, Susie. You good. Shane P. Thank you, Diego. You're welcome, Shane. Jacob, is the only fee the DS-160 fee before the interview? Yeah, and you don't pay for the DS-160. The DS-160 is free. There's no cost for the DS-160, Jacob. It's totally gratis. Okay, what you're paying for is the time of the interview officer to process your K1 visa into the passport of your beneficiary. That's what you're paying for. You don't pay for the DS-160. That's no charge for that. AJ, thank you. Your channel is very helpful. Thanks for having time to live chat. More power. AJ, this is your YouTube channel, okay? This isn't my channel. This belongs to you guys. Everybody right here watching this, this is your channel, okay? You tell me what you want. You give me questions, and I'm here for you guys, okay? That's why I'm here. I've been through this process twice, plus a spousal visa. I know how to do it. I've been through it. I've waded through the school of hard knocks. Nancy, hi Diego, my case in transit from Indonesia. Indonesia is pretty quick turnaround for a visa interview in Indonesia. Pretty quick turnaround. You're going to be just fine. Let's see here. Lola, Nancy, History Blitz. Hey Diego, doing adjustment status paperwork now. Right here, I got adjustment of status paperwork for Karina. This is all her adjustment of status paperwork. And she's not even here yet. I'm planning ahead. We are married. Do we fill in her name on forms with her new changed last name? Yes, that's correct. You used her married name. Monica Enoch. To Lola, when you get your case number, you created a SEAC. And then what happened? Well, in the SEAC account, you got to look for the country. Look for the country of your beneficiary. You click on the country, and then you go into that country's embassy and start the process. Nong Vang, I see no, she's in Laos. Oh, Laos. I stand corrected. Monica Enoch, Lola or Diego. So I have a welcome letter with a case number and USCIS receipt number. What should I do now? Create a SEAC account. CEA. The welcome letter should tell you, Monica, what to do. There should be instructions in that welcome letter telling you what to do for that embassy. Which country? Jacob, it says the fee is to process the DS-160 for the interview. There's no cost for the DS-160. There's no fee. It's free. Okay? The fee is to process the K1 visa. Teja Sweeney, are the interview questions hard? No, they're not hard. History Blitz, also, we are filing with a joint sponsor. No problem. That's good. Do we need to file 864A, contract between sponsor and household member? If it's a household member, if your joint sponsor is a household member and lives with you in the house, then you file 864A. If your joint sponsor does not live with you, is a friend that lives across town or another state or another city, then you file 864. Okay? Affidavit of support. But if your sponsor lives with you, you will fill out 864A. Lola, Monica, this is a confusing process. Our lawyer was on vacation when we saw our case was ready. When he returned, he instructed us to fill out the DS-160, submitted it, and then sent the email. Okay, Lola. Now remember, the DS-160 is only good for 30 days. So let's see what happens. Archer. Now, Archer, you're in Algeria, right? If I remember. I got the form W-2 wage and tax statement. Is that the one? Okay, the W-2 is what the gives you when you at the end of the year to tell you how much you were paid. It's going to include your FICA tax, your income tax, and all that other stuff. And if you're going to get 4 W-2s, one for you, one for the federal government, one for the state government, and an extra one. Now, if you live in Florida, like I do, I don't have to worry about it for the state because there's no tax on my income here in the state of Florida. But if you live in a state like New York or California, where you pay probably half your income goes to the government, then you're going to have to, it's going to show up on your W-2. Teja Sweeney, for the K1 visa, I really want my fiance to come here. I do not want him to say something wrong in the interview. Is it just so stressful? Teja Sweeney, your beneficiary is not going to say anything wrong in the interview. Relax. It's not hard. It's easy. If your beneficiary says something wrong, makes a mistake, the immigration officer will correct your beneficiary. Okay, and then reconfirm the question, and then get a second chance to respond. It's not hard, guys. James 1, hi Diego, how are you? James, doing great. How are you, James? Any luck with your case welcome letter? No, I figure by the first week of September, first or second week of September, we'll get our welcome letter. 2 or 3 more weeks. We're relaxed. We're patient. We wait patiently. We're not in any, massive rush. We're getting this done with a calm head. Lamin Jabang, hello Diego, DS160 is free. That's correct, but I think I have the DS260 for the interview. Lamin Jabang, if you are going through a spousal visa, if you are already married, you will fill out a DS260. If you are in a K1 visa where you're going through a fiancé visa, a non-immigrant visa, you will fill out a DS160. Monica, I guess what I'm confused about is the part of the SEAC. Well, it's not hard, Monica. What we show ready. So what does it mean? It means you pay for your visa fee. Get in a SEAC account, pay the visa fee, fill out the DS160, print the confirmation page, schedule the visa interview. That's what that means. You're good to go, Monica. History Blitz. So if my joint sponsor files 864A, does that mean I enter him as income? Him as income I'm using from any other person counted in household size? That's a good question. I need to look at the form, because what you're going to do is you're going to fill out your I-864 with your income, and then your joint sponsor, who's a family member, is going to fill out the I-864A with his or her income, okay? And that number better be higher than what the minimum requirements are for immigration. Let's see. Archer, can we get it online from the IRS? Your tax transcripts, yes. Absolutely. You're trying to get your W-2s? What are you trying to get, Archer? Lola Ali is talking to Monica. You can fill out the DS160 without paying. That's correct. There's no fee for the DS160. There is a separate fee. The consulate sent us payment instructions with the interview letter. That's correct. History Blitz. I'm doing 2 864 forms. Yes, that's correct. If you have a joint sponsor, one for you, one for your joint sponsor. So a household is 2 for me and the wife, and he has a wife. So his 864 has total members. We all live together. What do we all write on these? What do we write? Your 864 is going to show your family size. You, your beneficiary, actually now your wife, right? You, your wife, and any kids. The joint sponsor is going to show the joint sponsor, you, your wife, and any kids. So the joint sponsor is going to show more beneficiaries, okay, on that form. And the income has to be able to cover it all. Brandon Schultz, my NOA2 has my name spelled wrong. The MVC has my case. I wrote to USCIS and MVC still waiting for my welcome letter. If they don't fix it on time, is that going to affect the embassy interview? Brandon, when you fill out the DS160, that's the form they're going to use to process the K1 visa. So make sure that when you fill out the DS160, that the name's correctly spelled on the DS160, and you'll be good to go. Jacob, I think when I say DS160 cost, it's just on the website that it says. I think they mean to process the whole thing as that cost. You're right. Monica, thanks so much, Lola. And Diego, my legal assistant is terrible, and I don't trust him. That's why I'm here. Thank you again. Monica, get rid of your attorney. Get rid of that person. Quit paying them money. They're not helping. Linda Gibbs, Diego, how are you? Doing great. Just wanted to know if you are using a co-sponsor. Do they not fill out the I-134? Do they? Yeah, they do. if they're not in your house? Yes, they do. Linda, if you have a joint sponsor, okay, for a K1 visa, it doesn't matter if they live in Alaska or Hawaii or Texas or California, okay, they will fill out an I-134. The sponsor will fill out an I-134. The joint sponsor will fill out an I-134. They don't have to live in the house to do it, okay? If your joint sponsor lives in Texas and you live in Hawaii, then you're going to have two I-134s, one from the sponsor in where you live and one from your joint sponsor where he or she lives. GS. Hey, Diego, it's GS. I returned from the USA yesterday, back in London. Do I have to include my I-94 in my folder? Yes. GS. Get your I-94, which is your proof of entry and exit to the United States. Make a copy, make 3 copies of it and have it ready, because your sponsor is going to need that when he files the K1 visa for you on your behalf. Because you went to America, you went to Arizona, right? If I remember, GS, you went to Arizona, you have to include the I-94 in the K1 visa. Your sponsor does. So you want to make a copy of it, use your phone, snap a picture of it, and send it to your sponsor in Arizona. Archer, you need a copy of your W-2, contact the IRS. They will have it. Nismo, what is the 864 for? That is the affidavit of support, Nismo. When your beneficiary gets to America, when you guys get married, okay, you're going to file an adjustment of status, which is this paperwork right here. Okay, and you're going to file a form I-864, okay, which is this form right here. Can you see it? You see that? I-864. You're going to file this form, okay? You're going to file this form right here. That's the I-865. You're going to file this form right here. The 693. So, the first thing you're going to put in your adjustment of status paperwork is your I-693 medical exam. This, by the way, will be in a sealed envelope. Your I-485 right here, which is your adjustment of status. It's your application to register permanent residency in America. And this form right here, which is the I-864, which is your affidavit of support. This is the contract between the sponsor and the U.S. government, telling them that you're going to take care of your beneficiary now that you're married. Your beneficiary is not going to go on welfare or become a dependent on the government. And I also recommend that you include this form right here with your package, which is the G1145, so you can get a text message stating that the immigration received your visa, your green card request. Lamin Jabang, thank you, Diego, no problem. Teja Sweeney, so Diego, I am not working currently, but I have a joint sponsor. Will I be fine? Sure, but you still got to fill out when you do the adjustment of status, you still have to fill out the I-864. You still have to provide your tax returns. Even if you didn't work, you got to pay taxes, right? You got to file a tax return, right? You got to prove that you got W-2s or something. And if you're not working, then your income's going to be low. That's okay. If you got a joint sponsor, you're good. But you still have to provide the documentation. You still have to fill out an I-134 for the visa interview. LK, for how long can NOA2 be extended? Okay, so LK, you read on the back of your NOA2 letter, and I made a copy for Karina's adjustment of status, and on the NOA2 letter, it says that the visa expires in 4 months, but it doesn't. You are still in the middle of a visa process, and the consulate at the embassy will continue to extend the visa process until you get to the face-to-face visa interview, and the visa is put in your passport. It's a continual process. Don't stress that 4-month window of termination on the NOA2 letter. Don't pay attention to it. You're in the middle of a visa process. The consular officer continues to automatically extend it. Mr. Najas, hi Diego, does the fiance need to know information about the joint sponsor? No, not at all. It's irrelevant. Immigration only, and the joint sponsor doesn't have to attend the visa interview either, okay? The joint sponsor does not have to attend the visa interview. The beneficiary doesn't need to know anything about the joint sponsor. The only thing immigration care about is that the joint sponsor has income that is sufficient to cover the cost above and beyond the minimum income requirements for the sponsor. That's all they care about. They care about, is your beneficiary going to become a public charge, or yes or no? If the joint sponsor's income is sufficient above and beyond the minimum income requirements, and I recommend being at above and beyond 125%, not 100%, then you're good to go. So don't worry about the joint sponsor and the beneficiary. They don't have to know each other. Let's see, Monica, got my welcome letter after 90 days after our approval. Welcome letters are taken from 90 to 110 days. History Blitz, joint sponsor is my dad. Very good. We all live together, no problem. Me, my wife, my dad, and mom. So on the I-864, how many household members do I write? And what do we write for his? On your I-864 History Blitz, you're going to put you, your wife, okay? You and your wife. That's who you're responsible for, right? Your dad and mom are not on your tax returns, right? Do you claim your mom and dad on your tax return? History Blitz. Whoever you claim on your tax return is who's going to be on your I-864. You and your wife. Your dad now has to cover him, your mom, you, and your wife. So that's 4 people. So your dad has to cover 4 people. You have to cover 2 people. You got it? History Blitz. Your dad has to cover him, his wife, you, and your wife. 4 people, unless there's any kids. GS, thank you. Yes, I did go to Arizona. I bet it was hot out there. History Blitz. He files I-864 and 864A. No, you filed the 864 History Blitz. He files the 864A. You file 864. He files 864A. Pete B, book, high five for that super chat. Pete B, you got me covered now for Mountain Dew for the rest of August. The whole month. You covered the whole month. You're a great American, and you're freezing, and it's not cold in Minnesota, right? It's warm in Minnesota. But thanks for that super chat. That's awesome, man. You understand History Blitz on the I-864. Yeah, you file yours, you and your wife. Your dad files the 864A as a family member, right? It's going to be him, your dad, his mom, your mom, you, and your beneficiary. He's got to cover 4 people. You got to cover 2 people. You file the 864 History Blitz. You're the sponsor. You are going to file this form right here, the I-864. That's what you're going to file. Your dad is going to file 864A. Jacob, I just looked. Diego says ready. You ready? Get off this live stream, Jacob, and start processing your visa. Start getting to work on it. Guy Trainer deleted Jacob. It took 2 days to get to the Philippines. That's quick, right? Boom! Vapid. Monica Enoch, super chat. Thank you, Monica. You're learning a bunch of stuff, right? Let me see here. Linda. So Diego. Let me see. I don't want to miss Linda's question here. Thanks, Monica, for that super chat. Beautiful. Monica, the live stream is passed you by. Repeat the question for me. I can't page back up. Mackenzie Owens, we will get our NOA2 by text or email. No, the NOA2 comes in the mail. The NOA2 is a hard copy. Do we just have to check the website? Mackenzie, you're going to get your NOA2 as a letter, and you need to make a copy of that letter because you need it for the interview at the embassy, and you need it to adjust your status for your green card. Shane P, ha ha ha, GS, nice one, Pete B. Yeah, Pete B, thanks, Pete. Guy Trainer, my approval from USCIS was May 20th, 2023, and I got my first email from the MVC on August 15th at 1:30 p.m. Not like you're checking the time, right? I checked my status at 11:30 p.m. on the same day. It says in transit, and okay, so in transit. So you got your FTP1 email, okay? That means it's on a plane. It's in a DHL courier airplane flying to your beneficiary's country. Monica, again, thank you. And PB, thank you guys for those super chats. You guys, yeah, so, you make me feel so good. And I'm glad, and I appreciate the support for this channel. Guy Trainer, your case is in transit to the consular section. Your interview date was provided to you by the National Visa Center. I'm a little confused because I don't have an interview date like the message says. Guy Trainer, if you're on a K1 visa, you have to schedule the interview. You have to schedule the visa interview at the consulate. So disregard that part of the message. Jacob, I'm working on it while listening to you on my phone. Okay, Jacob, I'm glad you are working on your K1 visa now. Get her done. Guy Trainer, I don't understand how it's in transit so fast. I haven't received any welcome letter. How is this possible? Guy Trainer, it's magic. The magic of the U.S. government, okay? Don't think it. Don't overthink it. Just get through the process. Don't try to understand the nitty-gritty nuts and bolts of this process, okay? Just try to get through the process, and the bottom line is to get that K1 visa in your beneficiary's passport. Nikita, hi Diego, it's been 26 days since we sent in our RFE response, but we haven't heard anything from USCIS. When do you think they will respond? Well, number one, don't worry, Nikita. You mustn't worry about this, okay? Don't worry. Worry make you sick. Number two, it takes 2 to 4 to 6 weeks for an RFE to get adjudicated. 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, okay? So you're right on the cusp there of 4 weeks. So any day now, you're going to hear from immigration. You're very close. You're close, okay? But in your mind, you don't think immigration has got it. Your mind is playing tricks with you. Oh, immigration didn't get it. Oh, they forgot about me. No, they didn't forget about you. And in the next week, you're going to hear from them. Diane Smith, what form needs to be filled out for an interview? Well, you just schedule it through the SEAC account. There's no particular form besides the DS-160. You fill out the DS-160. That's the form you use to create the K1 visa. The DS-160 is you got to make sure you spell your name right on the DS-160. You got to upload a passport photo, okay? The DS-160 is the form that immigration uses at the embassy to create that little visa that goes in your beneficiary's passport. That's the only form you got to fill out. The rest of the stuff you bring in your hand, right here. Like this is adjustment of status, but just as an example. Let's see. Monica, I called my fiance to tell him to create a SEAC. I said the legal assistant is terrible and not helpful. And if it's according to her, we would wait for ages. Get rid of that legal assistant and get on and get this done. Okay. If you have ready status, you need to get into your SEAC account and start processing your K1 visa. Get there done. Okay. Diane Smith, DS-160 or DS-260? Okay, Diane, a DS-160 is for a K1 visa application, a non-immigrant visa, but it's treated as an immigrant visa. I know it's confusing, but just hear me out. A DS-260 is a spousal visa application, a immigrant visa. A DS-260 is used, it's the form that you fill out for a spousal visa, an IR1 visa, a CR1 visa, marriage visa. If you're married, you're going to fill out a DS-260, okay, for the embassy. If you are single, divorced, or widowed going through the K1 visa process, you're going to fill out the DS-160. But remember this, when you go into the SEAC account, you got to click on immigrant visa for both. The S-160 is treated as an immigrant visa, even though it's not. Thevi Straypov, hello Diego from New Hampshire. Can you please talk about the letter of intent to get married? I can do that. Hold on a second. Who makes the SEAC account, you or your fiance? Either one. Either one. Have the sponsor do it. The sponsor needs to take control of this process. Diane, does the sponsor make the appointment for the interview? Yes, that's correct. Thomas Farrell, visa package on the way to Manila. Is yours still at MVC? Nikita, thank you, Diego. I need your positive voice. Nikita, you're good. You're going to be fine. I'm not worried about you. If you're in an RFE, I'm not worried about you. You just got to wait out the time for them to finish processing your RFE. You're very close to, you're about a week away. You'll hear from them very soon. Guy Trainer, how long is the Dominican Republic taking to schedule interviews? 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And do they tell me when to come in for the interview? No, you have to schedule the interview, Guy Trainer. You schedule the interview. Ren S, high five. Jacob, is the travel docs form filled out by my beneficiary? No, Jacob, you take control of the visa. You're the sponsor. You take control of the visa. You go into the SEAC account and start processing all this. Okay? You do it. Furious Ram, hi Diego. Who is the one that creates the SEAC account? The sponsor does. Ren S received NOA1 on December 30th, 2023. How much longer? So by December of this year, November, December, Ren S. Mackenzie Owens, Diego, I'm currently away from home for approximately 10 more days. I have NOA1, date of August 19th, 2022. Should I worry about not being able to get to my mail physically until next weekend? No, if you're on vacation, you take your vacation. Is somebody picking up your mail for you at your house? You're good. Jen Ganesh, Diego, good night. Any update on MVC? How long have you been waiting on your welcome letter? It's 90 to 100 to 110 days, Jen Ganesh. I got my MVC NOA2 letter May 30th. Got it here June 2nd, June 3rd. It takes 100 days, 90, 100 days. September, somewhere in there. Let's see. Jacob, but all this info is for my beneficiary. That's right. You're absolutely right. The DS-160 is all about the beneficiary. Francois Livingston, evening, Diego and Karina. All this talk about the letter of intent. I'm going to talk about it. I sent one from both of us with the K1 visa. Will another one need to be done? Yes. Now let me talk about the letter of intent to get married. You need a total of 4 letters of intent to get married. 4. 2 for the K1 visa application and 2 for the visa interview at the embassy. So you're putting together your K1 visa package. You, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, will write a letter of intent to get married. In the letter of intent to get married, you are going to say you promise to marry your beneficiary in 90 days upon his or her arrival in the United States. You got to say that in the letter. Number 2, you are going to state in the letter you are an American citizen. And number 3, you are going to state in the letter that you are legally free and able to marry your beneficiary. Okay? So you're going to write, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, you're writing your letter of intent to get married on your computer. Blue, blue, blue. You got your computer, you got your keyboard, and you're writing your letter. Okay? And you're going to tell immigration how much you love your beneficiary and how you've been dating for a year. You've been dating for 2 years. You're madly in love with each other. How you met each other? We met each other, on the beach in Cebu, or whatever. You're going to, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, you're going to write a beautiful letter of intent to get married, 1 page. Miss Beneficiary in the Philippines. Now, I'm going to assume if you live in the Philippines, you can speak and read and write English fluently. So, Miss Beneficiary in the Philippines, you're going to write your letter of intent to get married. My name is, I am a citizen of the Philippines. I am legally free and able to marry my American citizen sponsor. And I promise to do so within 90 days of arriving in the United States. Okay? So if you're from the Philippines, you can speak, read, and write English and Tagalog. You guys in the Philippines are super intelligent. Man, you guys are so intelligent. You can speak all these languages. Okay? So you got those 2 letters of intent to get married that go in the K1 visa package. Now listen, in my case, Karina is from Venezuela living in Colombia. She can't speak English. Oh, she can say dog and cat and, things like that. So she wrote her letter of intent to get married for my K1 visa package in Spanish. She got on her computer in Colombia and wrote her letter in Spanish. She stated in her letter of intent to get married, I am a Venezuelan citizen who is a legal resident of Colombia, Bogota, Colombia. I have legal residency in Colombia. I am legally free and single and able to marry Diego, my American citizen sponsor. And I promise you, Mr. Homeland Security, Mr. USCIS, I will do so within 90 days. She wrote it in Spanish. She signed it. She dated it. She signed it in front of a notary in Bogota. Do you have to use a notary? No, you don't have to, but we did. We just did it. So I've got 2 letters for my K1 visa. We're going back to 2022. One from me in English, signed and dated with a black ink pen. One from Karina, written, signed and dated in Spanish, notarized. I then translated her letter of intent to get married into English. I used a company called the Spanish Group. So when I submitted my K1 visa to USCIS at the lockbox in Dallas, I had 2 letters of intent to get married. One from me in English, signed and dated, not scanned, not copied, signed in black ink. One from Karina in Spanish, signed and dated. The back of the letter was notarized. Then I had the translation behind that. Then I had the certified translation behind that. 2 letters of intent to get married. Now, let's go forward in time to August of 2023. We're getting close to our welcome letter from the National Visa Center. When I get the welcome letter, I'm going to create a SEAC account, and once I get ready status, I'm going to schedule her interview at the embassy. When I've scheduled Karina's embassy interview, I'm going to write a second letter of intent to get married in English. Dear Mr. USCIS, correction. Dear U.S. Embassy, Bogota, Colombia. Dear Consular Officer. Dear Consular Officer, U.S. Embassy, Bogota, Colombia. Okay? I, Diego, promise to marry my prometida, my fiance Karina, within 90 days of her entering the United States. I am legally free and able to marry Karina. I am a U.S. citizen. And then on that letter of intent to get married, I'm going to include my address here in Florida, my email address, my phone number. I'm going to address it to the U.S. consular officer at the embassy in Bogota. I'm going to write in my letter of intent to get married, Karina and I have been together for 3 years. We dated for a year. And for the past 2 years, I've made 5 trips to see Karina in Colombia. We are still madly in love. We want to get married. I am still, I am legally free to do that. This is a legal letter. This is the cornerstone of your K1 visa and your embassy interview. Karina, 2 weeks before the K1, her visa interview in Bogota, 2 weeks before, she's going to get on her computer, on her laptop in Bogota. She's going to write a second letter of intent to get married in Spanish. She can't speak English. Now, if I was to write it for her and then she was to sign it, the immigration officer is going to say, Karina, you don't speak English. How did you write this? These can't be your words, right? If your beneficiary does not speak English, he or she must write her letter of intent to get married in his or her language of her country, whether it's Spanish, whether it's Farsi, whether it's Japanese, Korean, whatever. So Karina's going to write her letter of intent to get married. My name is Karina. I'm legally free and able to marry Diego. I promise to do so within 90 days of my arrival in America. Okay? She's going to sign it and date it in black ink. We'll probably run down to the notary and have it notarized again. Then I will get it translated into English by the Spanish group in California. I will take a picture of her letter of intent to get married with my cell phone. I'll go click. I will send that letter, one page, just one page. I will send it to the Spanish group. They will translate it for me in 2 days. They will email it to my phone. They will email it to me, the translation. I will then print it at the print store down the street in Bogota, where we live, in our apartment. So then I will go to the visa interview with Karina with my letter of intent to get married in English, signed and dated, her letter of intent to get married in Spanish, notarized, translated into English with a certification. Those go in the document file, the civil documents that she's going to take to the visa interview. And that's the letter of intent to get married, guys, in a nutshell. Basically, what you're doing is you are promising Homeland Security, the U.S. government, you are promising them that you're not married to somebody else, that you didn't get married during the K1 visa process, etc. You're telling immigration that you're single, divorced, or widowed. You're going to marry your beneficiary within 90 days, not 3 months, 90 days, guys. And that you are a U.S. citizen. You got to state your citizenship, Mr. Sponsor. And then Karina stated her citizenship and her residency status. She stated she's Venezuelan, living legally in Colombia. That's it. It's easy, guys. And in that letter, you're going to tell immigration you guys still love each other. You've been on adventures together. Like Karina and I, we've been to Cartagena, we went to Cucuta, we went to Villa de Leyva, we went to Bucaramanga, we went to Chochi. We went all these places as a tourist. I want to say I took Karina to Cartagena on the west coast, and we went to Playa Blanca. We went to Bendita Beach. All this, we stayed at the Hotel Ibis, etc., etc., etc. And that's it. Renes, let me see. I don't want to miss anybody here. Francois, all this talk about the letter of intent to get married. I sent one from both of us with the K1. And will another one need to be done for the interview? Okay, I just explained it. Yeah. Renes, can you also please guide me on how to put together proof of ongoing relationship, as the lawyer can't submit for my fiance interview? Well, for the continuing relationship, you got to print your chat logs in WhatsApp, in Messenger. If your beneficiary, your sponsor, you better visit your beneficiary. Okay, you got to go visit. Plane tickets, hotel receipts, evidence of financial support. Make copies of all the Western Union receipts that you've been made. I send Karina money every month. Do I need to do it? No, she has a job. She doesn't need the money, but I send her the money, and then I print the Western Union receipts right here. I'll show them to you. This right here is proof of a continuing relationship. Right here. These are copies of every month that I sent Karina money. Okay? These are Western Union receipts. All right? That's proof of an ongoing relationship. Financially, trip-wise, If you go on vacation with your beneficiary, keep all of the bus tickets, etc., etc., etc. If you, like for Karina's birthday's in March. I sent her, some money for her birthday so she can go buy herself some clothes or something. That receipt's right here. I sent it through Western Union. March 2023, money for Karina's birthday. That's evidence of a continuing relationship. Ren S, relationship after I applied for the I-29 plus new pics of second trip. Yeah, pictures together on your second trip. Absolutely. Teja Sweeney, why do they take so long? How long will the NVC take to send the case to the beneficiary? Teja Sweeney, here's the secret to the K1 visa process. You got to be patient. Patience, patience, patience. It could take 3 months. It could take 2 months. It's going to take between 2 to 3 months for the NVC to mail that package to India, to Mumbai. K1 visas in India are processed in Mumbai at the consulate. Why do they take so long? Because they're busy. They're busy people. Very busy. Basel Akarabi, the lawyer, did the DS-160. Well, my condolences, because the beneficiary is the person who's supposed to do the DS-160, not the lawyer. Okay? The lawyer, now if the lawyer did it, then the lawyer needs to put his or her name on the bottom of that DS-160 and say, this is the person that filled out the DS-160. But the beneficiary is the person that's supposed to do it. But if your lawyer did it, that lawyer better put his or her name on the bottom of that form. Francois, thank you. I wasn't clear on that. I even had my fiance's letter of intent translated to English by the Spanish group. Francois, you did exactly what I did. High five, fantastic. Success, perfect. You did exactly right. Basel, we had to correct it. How many times can we correct the DS-160? So your lawyer submitted the DS-160 and messed it up. This is what happens when you put your K1 visa into the hands of somebody else. Basel, you need to take control of your K1 visa. Okay? You need to take control of it and get this done so your beneficiary gets her visa. How do you correct it? Well, it depends if it's been submitted. Okay? If it's been submitted, then if over 30 days have passed, there's not much you can do. If over 30 days have passed, that submission is now in stone. Okay? So what I would do is to fill it out myself, and resubmit it. And I think you're going to have to repay the visa fee again. I'm not sure in that case. But in this situation, you need to get rid of that attorney. The lawyer's messing up your whole case. No disrespect to your attorney, but it's not looking good. Okay? Basel, get rid of your attorney, take control of your visa, and redo the DS-160, repay the visa fee, and print the confirmation page. Then when you go to the visa interview, the immigration officer is going to be confused at first, but you can explain that the first one was messed up. That's the only way I can think of it to fix it, if it has already been submitted to the embassy. If the embassy has a messed up DS-160, I would say redo it, redo the whole thing, and bring the corrected copy with you. Elliot Lee, when should we schedule the medical exam? Before or after the DS-160? Well, first you got to schedule the visa interview. Once you know the date of the visa interview, you want to schedule the medical exam a couple of weeks before the visa interview. For example, Karina, I will schedule her visa interview in Bogota, let's suppose, and I schedule it on December 15th of 2023. Then I'll call Karina and say, hey, get on the phone, call the civil surgeon, and schedule your medical exam. I think in the Philippines, you have to have it 2 weeks before your visa interview. Then Once I've scheduled the visa interview at the embassy and Karina scheduled the medical exam at the doctor's office, then I'm going to fill out the DS-160 with her in Bogota. She will be answering the questions. I will fill it out because she can't speak English. So I'll be her translator. But it's her name going on it. Francois Livingston, thank you. I wasn't clear. I even had my fiance's letter. Yep. Basel, we had to correct it. How many times can we correct it? Well, as many times as it takes until you get it right. Elliot Lee, when should we schedule the medical exam? 2 weeks before. Jacob, soonest date for the Philippines appointments now is October 3rd. That's still pretty quick. Mackenzie Owens, hey Diego, once they send the NOA2 letter, is that also the time when they update the website to say approved? That's correct. You're absolutely right. James Wan, attorneys messing up immigration documents. Yeah. I wouldn't let an immigration attorney touch my immigration document ever. Never. No, I'm not disrespecting immigration attorneys. I'm not an immigration attorney. I just went through 8 years of this stuff. I got experience. Okay. I'm not giving you guys legal advice here. I'm giving you hardcore experience advice. And I have not yet messed up a K1 visa or a spousal visa. Jacob, crossing paths with Pete B. Seven Angels. Hey, Diego, how are you doing? Quick question. Right here, doing great, Seven Angels. What's your question? Renee Riggs, there is no create account on the SEAC site. Do you have a video showing how? Okay, when you go into the SEAC account, okay, you're going to go in there and you're going to create a password. You're going to make a password up. And you're going to write down the password so you don't mess it up. You don't forget it. You're going to hit the capture code to show that you are not a robot. Like, the capture code. You put in the 4 numbers or whatever. Then you get into the SEAC account through the capture code. Once you're in, then you look for your country of origin. I will be looking for Colombia. Oh, there's Colombia. I'm going to click on Colombia. That's then going to take me to the Colombian Embassy Travel Docs account where I can pay the visa fee and schedule the visa interview. That's how it works. So when I say create account, you're not looking for a block that says create account. When I say create account, what I mean is you go into the SEAC, right? You create a password. You put in the capture code and then look for the country, and then you're gonna get an ID number. They're gonna create an ID number for you. Write that number down because you're gonna need that. And then you get to work. 7 Angels, switching jobs during petition. Is it okay to do that? Sure, no problem. You can do that. No, it's not a problem to do that. Isaac Medrano, Julia and Isaac here from Florida and Brazil. Whoa, Brazil and Florida. She has an overstay from a family tourist visa. What waiver do we need? Well, I can't remember the name of the waiver, but there's a form you got to fill out. And you got to bring it to the embassy interview. I can't remember what it is, but there's a form for an overstay. It begins with a number 6, if I remember. Remember, I focus mainly on K1 visas, not immigration errors in the past, okay? But there's a form you got to fill out for an overstay on a tourist visa, and you bring it to the visa interview, okay? It's a waiver form. Can't remember what it is. Google it. Google visa overstay form in USCIS, or go to uscisforms.gov and look and page through all the forms, and you should be able to find it. It will say overstay. But being on an overstay for a tourist visa, honestly, isn't going to be a problem. I don't recommend you do it, but it's not going to block your visa. Monica, do I have to upload a passport and all documents automatically when I create a SEAC? Or can I upload them later? Monica, you upload 0 documents in a K1 visa process to the MVC. 0. Nothing. Nada. You don't upload any documents to the National Visa Center. Nothing. Zero. You bring them to the visa interview at the embassy. Your beneficiary will hand carry in her bag or his bag or suitcase, okay, or briefcase or cartera, all of the documents. The only thing you upload for a visa interview for the K1 is a passport photo for the K1 visa. That's it, in the SEAC. You don't upload any passport, any documents. Let's see here. You got it, Monica? You got it? You understand that? You don't upload anything for a K1 visa to the NVC. Nothing. Adriano Moro. I received approval letter and my fiance is in Guinea-Bissau. What can I do next? You got the NOA2 letter, Adriano? If you got an NOA2 letter approval, then you wait for the NVC welcome letter, which takes about 3 months. If you got the welcome letter, then you're going to wait for the in transit, after you go into the SEAC website and establish yourself in there. I say create account. Technically, you are establishing yourself in the SEAC system. The SEAC system is a website ran by the State Department. 7 Angles. Thank you, bro. Isaac Medrano, I-601. That sounds pretty close to what it is for a visa overstay. Waiver. You got to get a waiver. I think that's what it is, but I'm just guessing. I know it begins with a 6. Okay, guys, I've been talking for 1 hour and 21 minutes. Oh, wait a second. We got Mailmac. Hi, Diego. Got my welcome letter and case number when I checked my status in the SEAC. There you go. It says ready. There you go. But I don't have the invoice number. Okay. Go ahead, if you have ready status, and use your receipt number from your NOA2 letter as your invoice number. Okay? Go ahead and see if you can get started on processing your visa. See if you can get it going without the invoice number. See if you can do it. If you've got ready status, I would do 2 things. I would email the embassy and check in with them, and they might send you the invoice number in the email response. Okay, but get started on your visa package. Linda Gibbs, Diego, you never answered my other question. Okay, Linda, where is it? I don't see it, Linda. What is your question? Repeat it. Repeat it for me. You get the last word because I don't see it. I'm looking through all the questions. I don't see Linda's second question. So, when you adjust your status for green card, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to put together a strong visa package. When you go to the visa interview at the embassy, you're going to bring the following documents with you. Your passport, Miss Beneficiary, unexpired. If you live in Brazil, you got to have 8 months of time left on your passport. You're going to bring your original birth certificate, Miss Beneficiary, plus a copy of the original birth certificate, plus translated into English if it's in a foreign language. You're going to bring police certificates from every country that you've ever lived in for 6 months or more, or worked in. Like Karina, she lived in Venezuela, she's lived in Colombia. She'll have 2 police certificates, one from Venezuela, one from Colombia, translated into English. You're going to bring the confirmation page from your DS-160. You're going to bring the MERV receipt, which is the one you paid for your visa fee, okay? You're going to bring photos of you guys together over the course of the relationship. You're going to bring 2 letters of intent to get married, one from the sponsor, one from the beneficiary, okay? Signed about 2 weeks, 10 days before the visa interview. You're going to bring your medical exam in a sealed envelope, okay? Divorce decrees. If you've been divorced in the past, you're going to bring final certified copies of divorce decrees, not magistrate letters, not scanned copies, not photocopies, original certified stamped divorce decrees with the stamp still wet on the paperwork, basically. Those and if your beneficiary has an annulment in the past, bring the annulment. In the Philippines, there are other documents that you have to bring, besides the things I just mentioned. There's certain requirements you have to meet for the Philippines. You know, you got to go to a class, some kind of a class you got to go through to say that you have went through this class in order to leave the Philippines. And you know that the folks living in the Philippines, you guys know all that stuff anyway. I don't have to go over it with you. But Linda, I need for you to repeat the question because I don't see it showing up in the live stream here. Please repeat your question. I apologize, but I'll answer it if you rewrite it. Paya, good morning from India. Well, how is everybody in beautiful India? And James Wan says, Namaste. Okay, guys. All right, Linda, I'm waiting for you to write me that question again. I don't see it. You know, the live stream has paged down, and I don't see it. But I will be back, guys. Hold on a second. Basel Akurabi. Sorry to bug you. You're not bugging me, guys. Now we have 4 confirmation pages because the lawyer did 3 and my fiance did 1. And yes, the lawyer was fired and sadly he got paid. Well, I'm sorry that you lost that money, but treat it as a learning experience. Be glad you've got the confirmation page of the DS-160. Okay? You got the confirmation page. That's all you need. Okay? For the visa interview. You're not bugging me, Basel. And you're good. It's a learning experience. Remember, everything is a learning experience. It's not a mistake. It's a learning experience. Mekomac. Renes, thank you for your guidance. No problem. Mekomac, one more question. Who's going to create this SEAC account? Mr. Sponsor, take charge of your K1 visa. Go into the SEAC account once you get the welcome letter and start the process. Take charge, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor. You are in charge of your beneficiary's visa at this point. Okay? Okay, guys, I'm going to get out of here and get some Mountain Dew. And Kaiser H, thanks, Diego. No problem. Basel, which confirmation page should I use? The latest and greatest, the most current one. The latest one you have. That's not got any errors on it. See you guys on the next live stream. Okay? Today, what day is it today? Wednesday? The next live stream will be on Saturday, 7 p.m.